Hi everybody, this is Anne. If you've watched many of our other videos, you know that I'm always on the lookout for non-complicated designs utilizing a variety of pottery decorating techniques to inspire you and get you excited to try them with the best chance of success. In this video, I'll decorate 3 wheel-thrown cups with designs that combine techniques such as carving areas of sgraffito and alternating that with slip trailing and even mishima. As my cups will be made of dark brown clay, I'll need to make a white slip for contrast. I dipped into my white porcelain reclaimed clay bucket, mixed it with water, and slaked the clay down using an immersion blender until it was smooth and as thick as pancake batter. I left most of the slip in a little container, then took the rest of it and filled a thin-tipped cake decorating bottle. When the cup was dried to leather hard, I used a fan brush to apply the white slip over the surface in wide swaths. I decided not to cover the whole surface. I alternated the raw clay sections with slip-coated sections, leaving some sections bigger than others for a more freeform look. Once the first layer was applied, I let that dry. With just one coat of slip, you can still see streaks where the brown clay shows through. For that reason, I know I need to apply another layer. This time I applied the slip from side to side and let that dry. I want that white slip to be a solid coating, so I applied 3 layers in all and let them dry to stiff leather hard. Now I'll do a little sgraffito carving through the white slip using this L1 thin, ball-tipped carving tool. I thought swirls would be fun. I could go ahead and draw them in with pencil beforehand, but as I've done this before, I just went for it. I just started carving from the center out. Normally I would do this in my lap, but you can see that to steady my hand, I used my pinky finger. The trick to making your design more interesting is to make your swirls different sizes and swirling in different directions. I repeated this on the other white slipped area as well. When the cup becomes bone dry, then I'll clean up any leftover burrs. Now I'll do a little slip trailing. I always test the slip first to check the flow. On the brown clay sections, I'll apply slip dots alternating in rows all the way down, filling up the strip. Such a simple design, but very elegant. Now let's do the sgraffito and the slip dots again, this time adding the tape resist technique. I measured up from the bottom of the cup 1 tape height, then wrapped the tape around along that line. I measured up another tape height and drew a line steadying the pencil against a paintbrush handle on the table. Then I applied the tape around that line. I repeated this for a little section along the top rim. Again, using the fan brush, I applied 3 layers of thin slip coats over the whole outer surface, letting them dry in between each layer. When the slip was of stiff leather hard, I removed the tape. I then drew lines just inside the top and bottom edges of each slipped area, steadying the pencil like before. Using the L1 ball tip, I carved each of those lines. Using the dividing lines along my banding wheel, I placed a piece of tape along each of those lines vertically up the cup. I carved down each side of the tape. I was going to carve just the slipped areas, but changed my mind and carved down both the white and the brown sections. I repeated this not only for the 3 sections of my banding wheel, but in between each of those sections as well until I had 6 taped sections carved out. Again, using the L1, I carved patterned diagonal lines into one of the top squares starting from corner to corner. In the slip square under that, again, I carved lines opposite from the first upper square. I continued carving that way down every other row of squares all the way around. In the brown squares, I dotted each corner around the entire cup. Now here's one I made earlier. I like the nice contrast of the colors and the way the lines and dots move your eye around the entire piece. For the third mug, I thought I would combine sgraffito and mishima. I used a trimming spinner to divide the rim into eighths. That means all the green lines. I taped bamboo sticks under the spinner and centered it over the rim with one of the green ticks pointing to the center of the handle. I drew a line around the top of the cup marking off a band around the rim. Then I used the laser level to draw vertical lines along each of those marks. I then brushed 3 layers of slip on every other vertical section. I taped the edge of a triangle set square, divided it into thirds from the band line to the bottom of the cup, then marked the right side of each line. I then drew V's in between each of those marks and dotted the left side of the brown clay sections. I connected the dots to create a zigzag pattern on each section and carved it out. I then carved 4 lines from the top zig to the bottom point. I did the same thing for the adjacent section and the bottom section. I repeated these carvings in each section around the cup. The sgraffitoed slip sections are done, but I need to fill in the carved lines around the brown sections. I used the slip bottle along each line to fill them in. When the slip trailing was stiff leather hard, I used this wide carver to scrape the excess slip from each ditch. When the cup was bone dry, I cleaned up any burrs or areas which needed additional cleaning. Now here they are, all glazed and fired. I love the contrasting clays so much I just glazed the rims with clear glaze and the inside with a nice white glaze. Here are 2 more glaze variations. Thanks to the newest members of our Little Street Pottery Research Facility team. If you'd like to join the team and earn a title, click on the Super Thanks button or the link to buy me a coffee. It also really helps us out if you hit that like button and subscribe to our channel. See you next time in the studio.